In June of 2023, I uploaded a video on the terrible horror movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Like, the movie shit. Damn. A.A. Milne would hate it. Well, most of you probably know by now, but they made a sequel. Pretty much everywhere I look, people are saying, this one's so much better than the first one. Oh my God, they finally got it. This is good. Like, this is the good one. This is really good. So let's see if these claims are true. I'm not holding my breath. Don't get me wrong, there were some things I liked from the original, but for the most part, it was what you would expect from a bad horror movie.
That's not great. That's terrible.
This one starts where the last one left off, with a time skip and narration, telling us that Christopher Robin became a doctor and was ostracized from society due to the public suspicion that Christopher was lying when he told them about the huge anthropomorphous animals that killed everybody.
Gee, I wonder why!
There were also those that believed Christopher, and they started burning huge areas of the forest in order to hunt Pooh and his friends.
To hunt the creatures of the 100-acre wood.
I'm not sure about the legality of that.
The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely f***ing not.
But let's continue. Of course, the movie opens with 3 girls using a Ouija board. In no time at all, they're being hunted by Pooh and his friends. Why would anybody be suspicious when Christopher tells them that there's these massive human-like animals killing people? Sounds real to me. In this movie, we get to see more of Winnie the Pooh's friends. That includes Owl and Tigger. Like in the last movie, Piglet is in this one as well, but he doesn't last very long.
Oh no.
During the attack, one of the girls gets badly burned, and Owl says to her, "Who's the abomination now?"
Who's the abomination now?
Do you guys get it? Who's? Pooh doesn't like it when people have bones that aren't broken. So he takes his sweet time and breaks every single bone. This poor girl, dude. Like, she's a glow stick that just won't light up. I think it's like a kink of his or something.
Yummy!
The masks that they wear are a little better this time around, but I gotta be honest, they still just look like people in cosplay. But I do like that they look a little fuzzy now. In the previous film, they just had like rubber masks on. This video is brought to you by Fume. Fume is a flavored air device that's perfect for anyone who's looking to break away from bad habits. Ooh. It's nicotine-free, non-toxic, and completely guilt-free. There's no batteries involved, no vapor, nothing to charge. They're safe to use anywhere, and they look pretty snazzy. There's a bunch of delicious flavors that you will love. My personal favorite is peach. It's a fun little tool to fidget with, and I think it's great at calming anxiety. Woo! Head to tryfume.com/ElvisTheAlien to get a free Fume topper when you order a journey pack. It's the perfect addition to make your gift a little more special. And if you're lucky, you could even win one of Fume's limited edition gold-plated devices this holiday season. Again, tryfume.com/ElvisTheAlien, or just scan the QR code on the screen to get yours now. Yummy! Thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the review. Owl's look kind of reminds me of the Muppet Sam the Eagle, mixed with the evil guy from The Mask. Piglet's new look is fine. It's a small improvement from the last movie, at least.
What the hell is that thing?
Although, I definitely think they should have changed his voice, so it's like high-pitched, like a fucked up pig squeal or something. There's this group of men armed with guns searching the forest. They seek revenge for the murder of their girlfriends in the beginning of the movie. I think they're their girlfriends, I don't know. They just know them and they like them and they're mad that they're dead. They stalk the woods looking for these deadly animal things in the middle of the night without flashlights. They do manage to kill Piglet though. He just pops up drooling like crazy. I guess he's hungry, and they just blow his head off.
It has become incredibly easy.
So that was easy. Pooh isn't very pleased with this. He jams one of their shotguns through their skull. Christopher Robin is canceled by his haters and subsequently fired from his job from the hospital. The CGI throughout this movie is pretty amateur. I know they probably didn't have a huge budget for this movie, so it's hard to blame them, but it's very distracting at times. Like the leg meat in this leg that's floating down the river, or this arm that's ripped off, or Tigger's tail. Around 30 minutes into the movie, we get a flashback of young Christopher Robin playing with young Pooh. And oh my God, it's so cute. He's the fat, cuddly little Pooh that we all know and love. He's got his cute little whispery voice, you know? Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
Just kidding. He's a literal nightmare. Look at this little Pooh. He's a freak. He doesn't look exactly how I remember him. Bro looks like he just had his lunch money stolen. Why does he look so mad?
Are you laughing with me
Because I'm not laughing.
He's shoving this bloody raw meat into his mouth. His expression tells me that he's eating the corpse of someone who just killed his entire family. And Christopher Robin is looking at him like, oh my god, he's so cute. The movie tries to spin it like, oh, his young mind could never comprehend the horror that's in front of him. And I think that's true to an extent, but really. I think even a young child could comprehend the foul, wicked yellow thing that's in front of them, chowing down on a bloody corpse. They couldn't make Pooh look angrier if they tried.
To the past.
Christopher's therapist puts him under hypnosis to try and help him remember who kidnapped his brother when he was younger. A group of police find the animal's lair, and one of the police says, fuck it, let's bounce. And Tigger responds, that's my line.
That's my line.
Initially, I thought it was Pooh because they look so similar. Unless you see their bodies, it's pretty tough to differentiate Pooh from Tigger. Their faces look way too similar. We then get a scene of Christopher Robin's dad admitting that he never thought therapy would work on Christopher, and that they're only using it on him in an attempt to help him remember who kidnapped their son.
I didn't think that this hypnotherapy was going to do anything for you.
Oh, this is totally moral. Their morals aren't questionable at all. I think it's totally fine to make their remaining son, their last living son, relive his trauma over and over for the 0.01% chance that he might remember some random detail that will lead to them finding the corpse of their other child.
I'll never forget the look on your face.
I know it must be extremely traumatizing for the parents, to have lost a son, and it makes sense that they would try everything in their power to find their son's body, but 25 years later? I mean, at best you might find a skeleton and they would match the teeth, but the man that killed your son is probably like super old or dead by now, so I don't know. It's probably just not worth it, making your living son go through that. Of course, Christopher could probably be doing this willingly, and it definitely seems like he is. But it's still kind of strange that his parents were like, yeah, we never thought therapy would ever work on you. We just want the bones of your dead brother. Christopher does some research and finds an article reporting on the man responsible for creating Pooh and the other monsters. You would think they would have already known about this. Why did he wait so long to do this research? You'd think he would have done this exact thing immediately after the events of the first movie. Christopher Robin decides to visit one of the men who were attacked by the animals. And after Christopher tells this guy that he knows about the animals that attacked him, this guy's like, hey dude, check out how much they fucked me up. I'm like crazy disfigured now. Isn't that nuts? I'm not sure what the point of that was. And his face is completely mangled. There's signs of stitches, but there's other huge gashes on his face that were left wide open. The doctor that worked on him was a bit inept, it seems.
Damn, I messed up. We gotta go bald, fam.
Also, his mouth just vanished under flesh for some reason. You would think that doctors would make an opening there. I mean, whatever. The old guy that kidnapped Chris's brother decides to check in on the victim of the animals. Like, he goes to the hospital and he peeks into the window, and Christopher Robin notices him do this, and the old man's like, oh shit, so he rushes away. I guess this man hasn't aged in 20 some odd years. Compare this guy's face in Christopher's memory and what it looks like now. He must be using some quality lotion. We get a scene of Owl vomiting acid on this poor guy's face before poking his eyes out. If only this guy learned the hand between the eyes method. Christopher follows the old man home. He breaks and enters into his place and then confronts him. We learn that this man delivered kids to a mad scientist who helped pay off his gambling debts. You guys can probably tell where this is going. This mad scientist obviously turned these little kids into monsters. According to this guy, he tried to stop the mad scientist at one point, but he failed and all the kids died.
It killed all the kids.
Later, he finds out that they weren't actually killed, and they crawled their way to the surface after being buried. What the hell? Let me get this straight. So this guy was going around snatching up kids and delivering them to a mad scientist, and he did this for money, so he could pay off his gambling debts.
Aw, dang it.
But then tried to stop the scientist later? What did he think the guy was doing with these kids? It was obviously nothing good. You think they're all just sitting around playing Legos? Like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
But at that time, I didn't can.
I'm sorry, bro, but you threw away any sort of morality you had when you snatched up the kids in the first place. Later, he tells Christopher that he had a wife and kids. How does a father rationalize kidnapping kids to pay off his gambling debts? What? If he was that desperate, he'd probably rob a bank before kidnapping kids. This guy apparently shot and killed the mad scientist, and then he kills himself in front of Christopher out of shame. So yeah, I guess Pooh was Christopher's brother at one point. I don't know, I don't like that. I liked it a lot more when he was just a random, like, evil bear thing. So this man kidnapped Christopher's brother. Out of fear, the mad scientist killed them and buried them. It turns out they weren't actually dead, so they crawled to the surface. And who was there in the 100-acre wood to meet Pooh? None other than Christopher Robin, who just happened to be this kid's brother at one point. It's just, I don't know. It feels like a plot contrivance. It's a little bit too convenient. Later, Pooh breaks into a house where Christopher's sister is babysitting, and they use a remote control car with a live feed cam to see who it is. When Pooh sees the car, he just destroys it. So if Pooh didn't know that you were home, he sure does now. Police show up at the house, coincidentally. There was a reason why they had them check the house, but I mean,
I'd really appreciate it.
I think I found Pooh more frightening in the first movie, even if his mask wasn't as convincing. And I know he was wearing dish gloves. His face in the first movie had this like uncanny valley vibe to it, and the actor was taller, his stature was more intimidating. In this movie, it's not the same. So Christopher's mom decided to do the dishes in the middle of the night. She doesn't even turn on the lights for some reason. I'm positive when I say there isn't a single person watching this video right now that has done the dishes in the middle of the night without lights on. That has never happened, ever. And what's even weirder is that all the knives are faced upward. Obviously, they do this so Pooh can turn her face into a pincushion, which he does. There's a pretty cool kill by Pooh at a costume party later on, where he pulls a girl's head off with a chain and then bursts it in the air like he's hitting a piñata. He swings at it like he's trying to hit a home run. Later in the movie, Pooh chases some partygoers down a hallway on all fours. You can tell that they're trying to make it appear like he's running fast, but it's not convincing at all. The way he's moving his arms looks like he's air swimming. Tigger ends up catching them off guard in a large room. The lights go out right when they show him bouncing, and it sucks. I wish they showed him bouncing on his tail. Even if they had to use CGI, I think it would have been amazing. Also, I thought this line was funny.
Come here, you fluorescent bitch. Come here, you fluorescent bitch.
He shreds the absolute shit out of one girl, and it's pretty funny. When he does it, he looks exactly like my dog in the backyard digging a hole. Yeah. Meowth, use fury swipes. Later on, he kills a chubby girl by poking up at her through a floor grate. He takes his little claws and he pokes up at her through the holes in the floor. When he started doing this, why didn't she just walk away? Instead, she just looks down at him and screams, like, bitch, move, just go anywhere else. One of the partygoers is very smart, and they decide to hide in a furnace. Pooh finds him in there and just turns the thing on. I'm not sure how Pooh knows how to do this. He was kidnapped as a little child, and I don't think the mad scientist was putting these kids through rigorous study, but whatever. He knows it's a furnace somehow, and he turns it on. When he does this, there's other partygoers around. They just sit around and wait for their turn to die. He's very creative with his kills. You know what's scarier than a regular chainsaw? Chainsaw on fire. This one's got flames on it, so it's super hot. You don't want to get hit with this one. That way, when you're getting chopped into bits, it's also uncomfortably hot. When Pooh's trying to kill Christopher Robin, he somehow recognizes the hole in the forest where he escaped from when he was a little kid. How? Whatever. Pooh basically just allows Christopher to kill him with an axe. He's preoccupied with Christopher's sister. I forget where she came from, but she's here now. And Pooh's trying to kill her. So Christopher just walks up to him with an axe and plants it in his head. Pooh does nothing about this. He's just like, oh, bother, and dies. Except he says it in his low, intimidating, dumb voice. Oh, bother. Oh, bother. Why couldn't they give him his iconic, whispery voice at the very end? Oh, bother. Wouldn't that be funny? Like he reverts back to his younger self during that one instance. Oh, bother. Crunch. The movie ends with a sad song that doesn't feel like it fits the tone of the movie in any way. It's then revealed that Owl is just reviving the dead animals. Yes, including Piglet, who got his entire head blown off, growing back their parts. Whatever. So there you go. There were some creative and fun kills throughout this movie, but overall I was left underwhelmed and bored. I did not like this as much as other people, I don't think. Honestly, I think it's pretty much on par with the previous movie. The kills were better, I'll say that. The kills in this movie were a lot better. But they completely did away with the honey thing. I loved what they did with honey in the first movie. It was like constantly dripping from Pooh's face. It made him look so creepy, but it also fit with the character. I wish they put that in again. So why did they name it Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2? They should have taken the honey out of there. Winnie the Pooh Blood 2. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Winnie the Pooh Blood 2. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Uh-huh.
Honeysuckle.